Newsboy and I have embarked on a mission to deliver you daily the news that matters. Let's see now our news of the day from business, science and technology, and personal development. Enjoy! Truepill Sid Vishwanathan out as CEO as troubles mount at tech-enabled pharmacy. Not quite 18 months after being named CEO of Truepill, co-founder Sid Vishwanathan is gone. The company, worth $1.6 billion at its last equity funding round, faces an uncertain future with a cash squeeze and DEA investigation. Walgreens sells AmerisourceBergen shares to raise $1.85 billion and accelerate healthcare strategy. Walgreens Boots Alliance has sold shares of AmerisourceBergen for initial proceeds of $1.85 billion, which will be used to accelerate the drugstore giant's healthcare strategy. Apple doesn't like being called an AI laggard. Apple CEO Tim Cook, speaking to analysts after the company announced earnings Thursday, said his company is no stranger to the generative AI that has set off an arms race among many of the tech sector's biggest companies. Incredibly suspicious, a union is accusing Google of violating labor law by retaliating against workers for organizing. More than 70% of a proposed bargaining unit were told in July that they will lose their jobs, say organizers. The loss of Buy Buy Baby suggests gains for indie retailers and majors. Target, Walmart, and Amazon will gain from the loss of Buy Buy Baby, but beyond the majors there are a slew of independent retailers that will vie for the baby pie. Ex-NBA player Terrence Williams will serve 10 years in prison and pay millions over brazen healthcare scheme. The former basketball player was one of several charged with defrauding a healthcare plan provided by the NBA. Adidas' first fire sale of Yeezy sneakers rakes in $437 million after the company cut ties with Kanye West over his anti-Semitic remarks. Part of that will be shared with anti-hate groups. Home Depot gave man nearly $300,000 in store credit for returning doors he didn't buy. Prosecutors, dressing like a contractor. He entered stores empty-handed and took doors to service counters to supposedly return them. New Google tool lets users track and delete search results about themselves. Users will get a notification when new personal information such as their address or phone number gets listed in Google's search results. Amazon stock rises as online orders pick back up. Amazon's Q2 profit and revenue exceeded expectations, but growth continued to slow in its AWS cloud computing business. Amazon on Thursday posted better than expected revenue and profits for the second quarter, sending its stock higher in after-hours trading. Estate with private beaches on Long Island Sound fetches nearly $140 million, the ultimate in Greenwich waterfront. Copper Beach Farm was once owned by a family that helped start what is now U.S. Steel. Bud Light market share stabilizes after transgender saga, says AB InBev. We are taking the feedback. Bud Light lost its place as America's best-selling beer after conservative figures called for a boycott. Fitch downgrades U.S. credit rating, but businesses don't need to worry just yet. Even JP Morgan Chase's CEO Jamie Dimon said the downgrade doesn't really matter that much. CEOs made 272 times more than their workers in 2022. Earning nearly $17 million on average. Over the last 10 years, CEOs' paychecks have swelled by $5 million on average, leading to average compensation of $16.7 million in 2022, according to the AFL-CIO's latest iteration of its annual Executive Pay Watch report. That report tracks the ratio of CEO to worker pay across SP 500 firms based on companies' annual filings with the SEC. Salesforce quietly terminated the employment of a popular diversity executive. Salesforce terminated the employment of a popular diversity, equity, and inclusion executive in May. People familiar with the matter told Insider. The people asked not to be identified discussing sensitive matters. After paying $4 billion for eOne, Hasbro sells its TV and movie business for $500 million. Hasbro will keep Peppa Pig but lose Grey's Anatomy and nearly 6,500 other titles in a deal with Lionsgate following a rough quarter. New exoplanet discovery builds better understanding of planet formation. An international team of scientists has discovered an unusual Jupiter-sized planet orbiting a low-mass star called TOI 4860, located in the Corvus constellation. World Report: Bangladesh faces record dengue outbreak. Urbanization, migration, and climatic changes are spurring a surge in dengue virus infections, Talha Burki reports. J. Robert Oppenheimer and the Social Responsibility of Science, the Manhattan Project to build the first nuclear bombs during World War II, which Oppenheimer led. was an enterprise of unprecedented scope with a vast cast of characters, most successfully documented in Richard Rhodes' equally monolithic book The Making of the Atomic Bomb, 1986. Scientists discover the highest energy light coming from the sun. Sometimes, the best place to hide a secret is in broad daylight. Just ask the sun. Huge solar arrays permanently installed on NASA's Psyche spacecraft. The Psyche mission is speeding toward its October 5 launch date, preparing for the last of its launch preparation milestones. Curiosity rover faces its toughest climb yet on Mars. On August 5, NASA's Curiosity rover will notch its 11th year on Mars by doing what it does best, studying the red planet's surface. The Intrepid bot recently investigated a location nicknamed Zhao that is pockmarked with dozens of impact craters. Scientists have rarely gotten a close-up view of so many Martian craters in one place. The largest is estimated to be at least as long as a basketball court, although most are much smaller. Star Trek's Jonathan Frakes on directing the Strange New Worlds crossover episode. An excerpt from Variety's new interview with Star Trek royalty Jonathan Frakes on directing the Strange New Worlds / Lower Decks crossover episode. Ancient DNA reveals the living descendants of enslaved people through 23andMe. A landmark genomic study raises the possibility that many more people could find links to distant ancestors through genetic analysis. Does heat cause miscarriages? A novel study seeks to find out. First of its kind project uses temperature sensors to track exposure in people trying to conceive. Petting another person's dog for 10 minutes can reduce stress. A bunch of new scientific evidence reveals that interacting with our canine friends for just 5 to 20 minutes can reduce stress and increase happiness. According to the National Institute of Health, petting a pup has decreased levels of cortisol, a stress-related hormone, and lower blood pressure. English country homes for sale, in pictures, from a chocolate box cottage to an upmarket timber cabin with an industrial-style theme. Beyond advertising, charitable giving more likely if potential donors in good mood. Research suggests, amid a drop in philanthropic giving, charities may want to improve a potential donor's mood before making the ask. 7 strategies for being proactive, instead of reactive, in shaping PR narratives. The world we live in is a constant dance of change and adaptation, and no industry knows this better than public relations, PR. But in an era where information moves at the speed of light, PR professionals cannot simply react. They must anticipate. They must futurecast. Futurecasting, a blend of data analysis, expert opinion, and intuition, offers an innovative path forward for PR professionals. It's not about predicting exact outcomes. Instead, it's about identifying trends and potential scenarios as well as providing strategic foresight to shape an organization's PR narrative proactively. How O Positive is breaking down generational taboos around women's health. O Positive is filling the gap in addressing multi-generational women's health issues from PMS to menopause. Hope you have enjoyed our fine selection of news for today. Follow me or subscribe to my channel and I will keep you updated with the news that matters. Thank you and see you again tomorrow.